On planet Glanton, that looks like a beach with purple grass and fiery light orange sky, Sam, Lee and Froid were standing in front of Ghostface, Grandpent, Cyber Leader, Davros and Supreme Dalek, surrounded by Cybermen, Daleks, Stormtroopers, Mordor Orcs, Nindroids, Flying Monkeys and Sentry Turrets. After the battle stopped, Ghostface said, "Drop your weapons." "I said, drop them." Sam nodded his head at Lee and Froid, so they put down their blasters. Sam did the same with his anti-time device. Stormtroopers picked them all up. Ghostface said, "I will soon take your ship, but first, you and I have a score to settle, Sam Birkinshaw." Sam shouted, "Let's do it!" Sam, Lee and Froid tackled the stormtroopers and got their weapons back. So the trio ran as fast as they can. Ghostface orders, "Stop them!" Davros said, "The fall of Sam. I can watch." In London, Cyber King have stopped attacking and stood still. Army of Cybermen have agreed that they should bring people inside for upgrading, while Repti, Professor Shawson, Neil, Cypher and Holly in the alley are hiding behind the bins. Repti said, "They're planning to convert all humans." Neil said, "I know, this might be too big for us." Professor Shawson said, "At least all we can do is try." Inside Armstrong Industries, Oscar Ward, Callie Mainston and Ricky Bennett hid behind the desk, while Dan Allen points the gateway opening remote at the door. That's broken down, so then Mordor Orcs, Nindroids, Flying Monkeys, Cybermen, Daleks, Stormtroopers and Sentry Turrets marched inside. Dan uses the device. The portal opens and closes a few times. He puts every enemies back in their worlds. After that's done, Dan said, "Good job I figured these buttons out. We're happy days now. However, we're not safe here in the base." Ricky asks, "What makes you think that?" Oscar said, "Have you seen what happened to the door? It doesn't look safe now, does it?" Callie said, "They are back in their world, but with the flux attacking and portals opening, they can come back here at any time. We should leave while we have the chance." Meanwhile, Rowan, Batman, Wildstyle, Gandalf, Blop, Anguirus, Frizz, Crispin and Darlus are running around in Life Center, getting away from the Daleks. So then, a white van from the opposite side from the Daleks pulled over. The window was winded down, and the person who drove it was Harry Jones. He met Sam once during Alien Grace attack at Newcastle. Harry said, "Quick, get in." So Batman, Wildstyle, Gandalf, Rowan and his team got inside the back of the van. The Daleks are shooting, but missed. The van sped off through Newcastle Street. Back on planet Glanton, Sam, Lee and Froid hid behind the big rocks. As Cybermen, Daleks and Stormtroopers approached, the trio stood up and fired their blasters at them. Some of the Daleks and Cybermen have fallen. Then Sir Parser appeared, and he uses the power of Force Field to cut the foes out. Sir Parser said, "Go, now. The universe needs you, Sam." So Sam said, "Thank you." So he, Lee and Froid flee as fast as they can. Suddenly, Grandpent jumped on Sir Parser, and after a bite, Sir Parser is reduced to blue dust. Sam shouted, "No!" Lee said, "Come on, he's bought us time." Eventually, Sam, Lee and Froid reached to Sam's ship, so the trio stepped inside the ship, and then it dematerialized. Ghostface, Grandpent, Davros, Supreme Dalek and Cyber Leader came to watch. Ghostface said, "We'll be moving. We will get some. He'll be going to his home planet, Earth." Sam's ship landed inside Neitherworld, the Beetlejuice world. Sam, Lee and Froid walked out of the ship. They looked around, and Sam thought, I don't think we'll find a soul here. Let's go. Lee thought the second film was pretty funny. So the trio walked past Beetlejuice and got back inside Sam's ship. Then it dematerialised. Lee asks, who was that lad who saved us like? Sam replied, Sir Parser, a servant of the universe. He's been helping me to find the souls as best as he could, but those objects were too clever for his powers. Plus, Lindell was a great ice warrior. Freud commented, he and Sir Parser did help us on that planet. So Sam said, Sir Parser, thanks for the help. I know you were trying your hardest, and I admired that. Lindell, thanks for helping me on Mars, dealing with the Yeti and Ghostface, then the monster from Scootop, and so on. May you both rest in peace. Lee said, we'll have to go. We didn't want Lindell and Sir Parser die for nothing. Sam's ship landed in Lego City. The trio got out. The police car pulled over. Lee thought, it's not good. Chase McCain stepped out the car and asks, can I help you? Sam explains the gateway and the soul fragments to him. Chase admits his experience. Sam asks, can we check the police station in case it might be hidden in there? Chase said, if it saves our universe, then I think you should come with me. Sam, Lee, Freud and Chase got inside the police car. Chase drove off. In Holy Island, Skellingman tells Dise, Zarbus, Dr. Centrix, Parsay and Lorva they should go to Newcastle and regroup with Armstrong Industries and Agents of Universe. The whole team agreed. Parsay turns around to Skellingman and asks, why won't you come with us? Skellingman answered, Sam can't see me. We don't meet in the right order of the timeline. The more I see him, the more he doesn't know me. It has to stay that way. While Chase is distracting police officers, Sam searched inside the station, but no luck. So he thanked Chase for trying to help. After Sam, Lee and Freud walked out the police station, there's Nindroids, Demogorgons from Stranger Things, and Daleks attacking the city. Lee said, we should have brought our weapons. Suddenly, the TARDIS appeared. Sam, Lee and Freud ran inside the box. The roundels were replaced with hexagonal shapes. There was a multi-level structure to the console room. The colours were more golden brown with bright cyan highlights on the console. Sam noticed the 10th Doctor operating the TARDIS. He's wearing brown suit with blue pinstripes, 4-button suit with a light blue shirt, brown tie with blue scribble patterns, with white Converse All-Star trainers. Sam said, What? 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 Oh, brilliant! The Doctor asks, do you need a lift back to your ship, Sam? Lee replied, aye, please. Sam said, brilliant. I get to travel with this Doctor, molto bene. The Doctor replied, no, don't do that. Don't. The TARDIS materialised next to Sam's ship. Lee and Freud walked out the TARDIS. Freud commented, Sam seems to be loving the moment. Lee said, aye, tell us about it. So they both walked in to Sam's ship. While Sam is still inside the TARDIS with the Doctor in David Tennant's 10th Doctor form, Sam said, I know I'm a fan, but also a friend who saves a lot of universe, including yours. The Doctor said, well, I understand that. Well, very much understand. Well, I'd say I understand very much. I go zooming around space and time, saving planets, fighting monsters, and I'm brilliant. Are you one of Lindelot? Sam said, no, just a team called Whovian. Knowing this face since I was 7 years old. And look at us, wibbly wobbly. The Doctor added, timey-wimey. Sam said, right, I have to go. My universe needs me to save it. Where are you now? Rose, Martha, or Donna? Cybermen, Daleks, Ood, Jadoon, and the Master? Anyway, thanks for getting us back to my ship safely. The doctor said, I'm glad to be help. Sam commented, out of all the faces of yours I met through the years, this face is my favourite. When I watch you on screen as a kid, I always wanted to do the same things you do, also work as an actor or filmmaker. I did a lot of running, being obsessively enthusiastic about sci-fi stuff. I took inspiration from you. Oh, I wear the long coat, which I left at my ship, and Sam showed him his sonic screwdriver. It's blue at the end, same as the 10th Doctor. Sam said, snap, because you know what, Doctor? You are my doctor. The doctor smiled and said, thank you. That's what I say to one of me who wears a stick of celery, who's into cricket. I'll see you in years to come, for me. Sam opened the TARDIS door and said, all my love to 2000s. So he got out the TARDIS. He walked back inside his ship. Lee said, you took a while. I know that's David Tennant's Doctor, Sam, but we have our world to save. Sam's ship dematerialised. The 10th Doctor said, Allons-y, and his TARDIS faded away. Sam's ship landed inside London in Wizarding World. Sam meets up with Newt Scamander. They both got inside the Ministry of Magic, searching around for Gateway Soul, but there's no sign of it. Sam got back inside his ship and moved to Hogwarts. It was night time. Sam and Harry Potter covered themselves with invisibility cloak. They walked out of Gryffindor Common Room. They marched down the grand staircase. Eventually, they got through the restricted section, while Argus Filch is wandering around with his torchlight, followed by his cat, Mrs. Norris. The soul isn't there either. Sam and Harry got back out of the restricted section. Meanwhile, London, in Sam's world, Cyber King was standing still. Repti fires lasers from his eyes at Cybermen, while Professor Shawson, Neil, Cypher and Holly runs back to Shawson's lab. Sam got back inside his ship and said, we looked everywhere in Hogwarts, including the trapdoor that three-headed dog known as Fluffy was guarding. Still no joy. Let's try this. Sam's ship has moved to Aldridge Mansion in Ghostbusters 2016 universe. Sam, Lee and Froid got out the ship. They met up with Abby Yates, Erin Gilbert, Gillian Holtzman and Patty Tolan. They busted few ghosts in the place. Sam searched the shelves and there was nothing. Sam thanked the Ghostbusters for help. He, Lee and Froid got back inside the ship and faded away. Inside a bar, there was Christmas decorations. It was full of evil gremlins messing up the place. Billy Peltzer and Kate Beringer ran out. Sam's ship arrived in the kitchen. Sam and Lee walked out the ship. They got inside a bar. Sam shouted, you kids freaked me out as a kid. They searched the bar and no sign of Soul. Gremlins tried to attack Sam. He pointed his sonic screwdriver at them, saying, don't even think about it. So the duo got back inside Sam's ship and disappeared away. Sam's ship landed in California. Forrest, E.T. was there. Sam and E.T. searched around the woods. No Soul. After Sam walked back to his ship, he said to E.T., I know, I will be good. I'm working on that. So he walks back inside his ship and faded away, then landed in London. Sam walked out of his ship and caught up with Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible universe. Meanwhile, Lee and Froid are in Sam's ship, wondering if it's any franchise that a soul is hiding or not. Inside a building, Sam and Ethan battled IMF agents. Sam searched around inside a room, no soul, so he thanked Ethan for help and ran back to his ship. Sam's ship landed on Inferno, the pirate ship of One-Eyed Willie inside a lagoon within a large grotto in the Goonies world. Sam, Lee and Froid walked out the ship. They went inside the pirate ship full of gold treasure. Lee said, I wish I can take a few. Sam said, same here, but we can't. We best leave them alone, apart from the Gateway Soul, if it's here. So they looked through the pile of gold coins and jewellery for a while. Froid said, "There's got to be a soul here. However, it's not guarded." Sam said, "It's not here, but the people will come soon, so we better get back before they find us." Sam, Lee and Froid climbed back onto the deck and stormed back inside Sam's ship, and it took off. So then, the Goonies, Mikey, Brand, Mouth, Data, Andy and Steph fell in the water from the tunnel of the waterfall. They're wowed by the sight of the pirate ship. In Green Hill Zone at Sonic World, Sam, Lee and Froid walk past the floating gold rings and admiring a ring on a computer screen while Sonic the Hedgehog is rolling up and down the hills. Sam asks, "Anything?" Sonic replied, "No, sorry. I love the fact that you and the Doctor have the device named after me." The van is parked outside of a Newcastle hideout. Harry sat inside with Batman, Wildstyle, Gandalf, Rowan and his team. Someone is pushing the door handle down from the outside, so Harry and Rowan pointed their blasters. Batman is ready to fight. The door opened. Dan, Oscar, Callie and Ricky have entered. Rowan said, "We almost shot you. Any more of you coming?" So then Aidan and Commander Mundy walked inside. Mundy said, "Yes, we're getting the army ready." Aidan and Harry shook hands with each other. Dise, Zarbus, Parsley and Lorva walked in, with Dr. Centrix carrying loads of weapons and gadgets. Dise said, "We bought the type of weapons we may need." Dan said, "Me too. The sword can destroy the Gateway Soul." Oscar said, "I guess we'll have to wait for Sam." Rowan said, "I'm going to tell Rigston and Abel that I love them." Sam's ship landed inside Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Sam, Lee and Froid walked out of Sam's ship. Lee commented, "This place again? Are you sure a soul is in any franchise? As we've been all over. We've been travelling from the Goonies to Adventure Time, the A-Team and Knight Rider, and still nout." So then Benedict Cumberbatch, Doctor Strange, said, "You must be Sam Birkinshaw. What can I do for you?" Sam answered, "You have the magic, including the multiverse. We need help to find the souls of Gateway, because my world is in danger." Doctor Strange said, "But that's your world. It could mean what happened to your world is your fate. I'm gonna have to send you back." So then Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, Chris Evans' Captain America, Chris Hemsworth Thor, and Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner stormed in, and Thor said, "Listen to what this young man have to say." Sam said, "Thank you, Thor. Listen, Doctor Strange, it's not just my world that's in danger, it's every world's, including yours. The multiverse is combining into one. It'll be the mess, and then the flux will wipe them all out, unless I destroy the souls. But I need your help to find them." Doctor Strange replied, "Oh, fine." So he uses a spell, but suddenly there was a purple explosions from outside the building. Everyone was wondering what it was. Doctor Strange opens the portal. He lured Sam, Lee, Froid, himself, and the Avengers into the void, a metaphysical junkyard at the end of time. Sam didn't think Doctor Strange could do that, but then again, Gateway is glitching a lot of things. Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool is there, alongside Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, who's wearing a yellow suit. Deadpool makes a joke about Sam being an actor, playing the fictional version of himself. Suddenly, Doctor Doom showed up. He took off his helmet and resembled Robert Downey Jr. So Bruce Banner turned around to Iron Man and said, "Tony, that's you." Deadpool makes a joke, "It's like your world is falling apart." So they give Victor Von Doom the same face as Iron Man to try and make it good again. Doom admitted he's not alone. Behind him are Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, Jamie Foxx's Electro, Josh Brolin's Thanos advanced. Sam thought they might not be bad to battle. So then Tom Hiddleston's Loki, Colin Farrell's Bullseye, Kevin Nash's The Russian, Tyler Maine's Sabretooth, Kelly Hugh's Lady Deathstrike, and a lot of Doombots showed up. Sam thought, it's bad. Doctor Strange opened the portal. Charlie Cox's Daredevil walked in and asked, does someone need a really good lawyer? Followed by Tom Holland's Spider-Man. So then Strange opened more portals. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, Alfred Molina's Doc Ock, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man came in. So 3 Spideys hugged each other as they're happy to see each other. Patrick Stewart's Professor X came in, and Deadpool commented, you know, people in other worlds will know you as a certain admiral from the USS Enterprise. Professor did not approve of the joke. So then Chris Evans' Human Torch, Jennifer Garner's Elektra, Wesley Snipes' Blade, Channing Tatum's Gambit, Paul Rudd's Ant-Man, Daphne Keene's X-23, and Peggy's Dogpool came in, then followed by Anthony Mackie's Falcon, Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch, Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye, Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther, and Sebastian Stan's Winter Soldier. Captain America was freaked out when he sees the Human Torch, as they both have the same face. So Bruce turned himself into a Hulk. Everyone began their battle. Sam fires his anti-time device at the Doombots. So then he picked up Dogpool and said, aren't you such a cutie thing? So Sam ran to Doctor Strange. He tells Sam, I found the last 2 souls of Gateway. One of them is a snake with Ghostface, and the other one is in Tower of London in your world. Sam was really happy to hear the answers and thank Doctor Strange. So then the portal opens. Sam, Lee and Froid have appeared outside Sam's ship. So they stormed inside and the ship took off. Sam flipped the switches and said, that got us somewhere eventually, all thanks to Doctor Strange. As soon as the souls are destroyed, portals will never be open again. History will be back in places. So then Sam picked up his phone and laptop. He takes them apart. He takes 2 of spare keys. He uses the sonic screwdriver, weld circuitry to the keys. After he finished, he explained, 3 of keys to my ship. They're very powerful as my ship. It can destroy anything powerful as Gateway souls. I reckon we both should have 1 each. Sam gave 1 of the key to Lee and the other to Froid. Meanwhile, in London, Repty, Professor Shawson, Neil, Holly and Cypher hid inside the lab building. While Cyber King is attacking again, they're scared. Shawson said, there's nothing we can do. I'm sorry. Holly cuddled into Cypher, while Neil said, give my love to Geordie. But then the blue portal appeared, and the Cyber King is pulled through and disappeared. So then the portal shuts. Professor Shawson, Repty and the gang looked. Sam, Froid and Lee came in. Sam was holding a gateway opener remote and said, nice to see you again. Repty asks, what kept you? Sam replied, we had other things going on. We found out where the portal souls are. Professor Shawson, can you take us to the Tower of London, please? Shawson replied, no problem. I know one of the guard there. He'll listen to me. At Newbiggin, Becky, Sam's mum, got inside her car, joined by Stewie and Alex. The engine starts and the car drives off. Stewie asks, are you sure you want to drive up to Newcastle? It's a long journey. Becky replied, there's a war starting there. My son, Sam, is in the middle of it. I'm going to help him, whatever it cost. And Alex, you didn't have to come. You're only 20 years old. Alex said, he's my brother. If he's in danger, I will help him. The black van pulled over in front of the gate of the Tower of London, and Anthony, who's one of the guards, walked towards the van and said, hi Alice, what's wrong? Professor Shawson replied, something in there I need to pick up that can help save the world. You can trust me, like you did before. Anthony said, okay, but be careful. So Anthony tells the guards to open the gate. The van drove inside and parked outside the tower. Sam, Lee and Froid got out from the back, while Repty, Neil, Cypher and Holly stayed inside. Shawson opened the door. Sam, Lee and Froid ran inside, and Shawson followed. The door closed. They walked down the corridor and split up. Lee and Froid walked up the steps. Shawson watched the door. Sam looked around in a room full of knight armour exhibits. Sam walked towards a drawer. He opened it, and inside was an old box. So he wiped the dust off it, and he placed it on top of the drawer. He opened the lid, and he took out the oval dark blue shaped object with 4 light blue lines with a sound of electronic buzz. Sam said, "At last." Suddenly, a guard showed up and shouted, "Oi you, what do you think you're doing?" Sam quickly placed that object in his pocket and ran away, while a guard is chasing him. So Shawson, Lee and Froid joined Sam and ran away from the guards. So they got out and got inside the van. Shawson drove it off, while the guards burst out the door and said, "Close the gate, we must stop the thief." As soon as the van drove to the gate, Shawson tells Anthony, "Trust us, it's something we need to save the world." Sam showed Anthony the object. He was confused and said, "Okay, off you go. After you save the world, I will vouch for you." Sam said, "Thank you." The van speeds off, while the guards caught up, and Anthony said, "I lost them. The thief is so clever." Lee asks, "Where was it like?" Sam explained, "It was in the room full of knight armours. The box was dusty, must have been there for years. We better wait until we find the last soul before destroy this, because the last thing we want is the flux going worse, and I have no time to find the last soul." So the van pulled over next to Sam's ship. So then Professor Shawson, Sam, Lee, Froid, Repty, Neil, Cypher and Holly stepped outside the van. Sam opened his ship door and the whole gang walked inside. Shawson asks, "What are we doing?" Sam replied, "We'll have to go to Newcastle and meet up with the rest of the friends." Repty replied, "More of us the better." Sam's ship dematerialized from London. Sam commented, "That explains why my sonic screwdriver beeped about the clue, because the black archive in the universe was the Tower of London. So my sonic tells me I was in the right building, but the wrong universe. Anyway, how did you start your work? Sorry I didn't ask." Professor Shawson said, "Before I worked in the lab, it belonged to Dr. Brendan Peterman. He told me his stories about his meetings with aliens, including the one he met in 1963. We started a business together. He's now retired." Froid said, "Skellingman knows him." Holly said, "Froid and Skellingman rescued me and Cypher from that evil captain." Suddenly, the console burst into flames. Lee asks, "What's happened?" Sam commented, "I'm losing power of this thing. Oh no!" Sam's ship flew down from the sky and crash-landed onto the harvest field near Roundabout Road. The power of the console in Sam's ship is off. There's smoke rising from the machine and clicking as the engines cool down. Sam asks, "Everyone okay?" Lee, Froid, Repty, Shawson, Neil, Holly, Cypher? Everyone said yes. Sam looked at the console. He seemed upset when he realizes something. Lee asks, "Can you not get your ship to work again?" Sam turned around and said, "No, I can't. My ship is dead. For real this time." Shawson asks, "We could fix it. We can help." Sam commented, "There's nothing to fix. This thing's perished. It's permanently broken. This was the last ship from Trenzilor. Even if Lugown or Chipoji were alive, they can't fix it." Repty scanned the console and said, "Sam's right. It's beyond repair. He can't work it anymore." Froid said, "Oh no, you've had that for years." Lee hugged Sam, saying, "I'm so sorry, buddy. I can tell you were attached to this thing." Sam cried, saying, "This ship is family. I've had it for 11 years. I have so many memories. My travelling days are over. Right now, it's just a shed full of toys. Holly said, "We better see where we are." Sam and the gang walked out of the ship into the field. Lee said, "I know this place. That's Sandy Bay," as he pointed at a caravan park nearby. Neil said, "At least we're in our universe." Sam said, "We're going to have to get a bus to Newcastle." Lee asks, "How we're going to explain to the driver and people about Froid and Repti? Nay offence." Neil said, "We'll just say he's undercover or something and Repti's just a prop." Sam suggested to grab some weapons from his ship. Ghostface and Grandpent are inside a space carrier that's flying in space. Ghostface talked to Grandpent, learning that the snake can feel nearly all the souls of Gateway are destroyed, becoming vulnerable. Ghostface said, "Sam has discovered the secret. I have to keep you safe. Stay close." At night, the bus stopped outside of Haymarket, Newcastle bus station. There's no other buses. There's no one there. It looks like zombie apocalypse. Sam, Froid, Lee, Repti, Shawson, Neil, Cypher and Holly got off the bus and into the station. Dan Allen has leaned against the wall next to Greg's, waving. Sam said, "Dan, what are you doing here?" Dan replied, "Waiting for you, taking you where the rest of us are." "Yari, guys?" Lee said, "I am fine. Why is the driver almost hesitated to take us here?" Dan said, "The Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, ordered to evacuate Newcastle while we're here because the invasion will more than likely take place here. Until the battle has won, civilians aren't allowed here." So Sam, Dan, Lee, Froid, Shawson, Repti, Neil, Holly and Cypher ran through the Newcastle town street. Eventually, they walked inside a hideout. Dan said, "Look who I've got." So Callie Mainson, Oscar Ward, Ricky Bennett, Dise, Zarbus, Parsey, Lorva, Dr. Centrix, Batman, Wildstyle, Gandalf, Rowan Fendel, Blob Skinner, Frizz, Crispin, Anguirus, Darlus, Commander Mundy, Rebecca Birkinshaw, Stewie Burke, Alex Burke, Stu Birkinshaw, Aidan Grove, Harry Jones, the 15th Doctor, Dagger the Bounty Hunter, and Brandon Mason, who Sam met while dealing with dinosaurs on Island, all stood up clapping and cheered that Sam's here. So everyone said hello to each other and hugged. Sam said, "Mum, Stewie, Alex, Dad, what are you guys doing here?" Becky said, "We know about the war here. Whenever you like it or not, Sam, we're helping you." Stu said, "You're our son. You can't fight that war on your own. It's too big." Rowan said, "You need our help." Sam said, "Okay, fair enough. I appreciate it." Lee asks, "Where's Skellingman like?" Dise said, "He's at Holy Island, rebuilding the city and helping people there. Apparently he can't see Sam anymore because of the timeline." Becky said, "What? Sam is in danger with the war coming and he's obsessed with the timeline." Sam said, "Mum, any changes of time will destroy the universe. Skellingman is helping us by not alternating it." "Right. Have you got anything that'll maybe protect the Earth?" Centric said, "Yes, I've built a gadget called Atmosphere Force Field, so the planet will be surrounded by force field. It's got the air and heat. It'll keep us alive." Sam said, "Excellent. However, another soul of Gateway is found, and the last one is up there with Ghostface. We must somehow lure it here to destroy." Centric said, "Leave that to me." Sam said, "Okay then. As you know, there's lots of gateway portals and flux in space just above Earth. Multiverse is going to combine into one and messes up every universes, so we can stop that from happening by destroying the gateway souls." "Right, let's get on with it." Later on, Sam's team are getting their defences ready. On the street of Newcastle, outside of Central Station, Lee and Froid ran to Sam. Lee said, "If you could pass me the soul, we'll get that destroyed. If the last one comes, we might save our world quicker." Sam said, "Okay, fair enough. Good luck, and be careful." Sam handed over the soul to Lee. Meanwhile, Centrix picked up 4 small pyramid-shaped devices, and she gave one each to Oscar, Rowan, Professor Shawson, and Dan. So they pressed the button, the white lines of light shot up from the top of every pyramid. The Earth is surrounded by force fields. Rowan has got the troopers from San Dolores lined up and ready, while Commander Mundy did the same with Armstrong Industries soldiers. Dagger said, Sam tried his best to help me and my crew, including his old friend Ara, so I'm going to help him in return. Sam explained to Dan that as soon as all the souls are destroyed, the portals will never be open again. Every universe will be saved. The franchise once will be sterilized, back as it was, and people from there will forget me, gateways and everything. The fact that Batman killed Wicked Witch of the West, as it didn't happen before, it'll reverse back to that Dorothy did it instead. Dan said, sounds like we're fighting for happy days. The Doctor was eavesdropping on the conversation. Outside of Earth, with loads of gateway portals and flux floating, there's army of spaceships, including Dalek saucers, cyber warships, TIE fighters, and space carrier, the Ghostface and Grandpent, are on board. Flying towards the Earth, Ghostface said, They impress me. Open fire! All the spaceships fire the lasers from their guns at the shield around the planet, but it's not working, as the shields disintegrated their lasers protecting the Earth. Commander Mundy said to Callie, Oscar and Ricky, tell Dr. Centrix we need more atmosphere force field over there. Scan which ship their Grandpent is on. Callie said, no problem, come on. Becky walked to Rowan and asked him, so, where are you from? Rowan answered, I was originally from the planet Glosspoon, but it's not there anymore. So now, I'm living on San Dolores. I have adopted son there. His name is Abel. He'll be 5 years old soon. Becky tells Rowan not to die, as he's got adopted son. And then Rowan said, but if I stay with him, what if I'm putting him in danger? What if he gets killed because of me? What good have I done him? And Becky said, you wouldn't have put him in danger, you would be saving him. From what it's worth, I think he'll bring joy. Neil is on the phone and said, hey Jodie, London is safe. I'm coming back after the war is over. I won't die. I love you. Send my love to Jed and the rest of Geek Retreat gang. Cypher and Holly held hands with each other. The Doctor walked towards Sam and asked him, hey Sam, I can't help hearing. I'll know I won't remember you or any of this once the battle has won and I'm home, but I need to know something. Does my show last? Sam said, yes, it's been lasting for over 60 years, starting when you had the TARDIS in Trotter's Lane in London with your granddaughter Susan. Although your show, it was on hold throughout the 90s and early 2000s. We just had a movie around at that time, small specials and other forms of media. Eventually your show returns, 2005, but these days Disney has controlled over you, and don't tell me you've met Walt Disney. No spoilers. As River Song says, spoilers. The Doctor asked, is that bad that Disney is owning me? Has anyone got a favourite of my incarnations? Sam explained, yes, a lot of them loved you, the one you're in right now. You're played by an actor called Ncuti Gatwa. Most generation pick the long scarf as their favourite, the one you travel with, Sarah Jane Smith. That incarnation was played by Tom Baker, but as for 21st century audience, they pick the one with long brown coat and tight suit, who says Allons-y, who also rescued me in Lego City, who started his adventures with Rose Tyler. He's played by David Tennant, which you'll know him in Harry Potter Movie 4. The Doctor was fascinated and loved the names. Some spaceships in space have disintegrated by the shield. Sam explained to the Doctor that the first Doctor was played by William Hartnell. So after the conversation, the Doctor walked off, while Sam has a thought and said, how can I explain to the Doctor that he's going to regenerate into Rose Tyler? Or maybe that Bad Wolf has come back to haunt him. I wonder if this is before when he met Belinda Chandra. Lee and Froid have walked through the corridor in the archive building and barged into the office. Lee asks, are you sure you want me to do it, like? Freud said, yes, I'm sure. Lee puts the oval, dark blue object with light blue lines and buzzing noise down on the floor. Lee picks the key up from his pocket and he stabs the object and smoke sprayed, and suddenly the office is burst into flames. Lee and Froid quickly ran out of the archive as fast as they can. The building exploded. Lee and Froid are out just in time. Suddenly the flux have touched the shield, while Becky, Professor Shawson, Cypher, Holly, Oscar, Callie, Dan and Sam looked up in the sky with horror. The force field have dissolved. Dr. Centrix realized there's nothing she can do. Ghostface inside a ship shouted, "Attack!" So all the spaceships flew down to Earth towards England, particularly where Newcastle is, while in the town 8 or 9 portals have opened. Davros is laughing. Supreme Dalek shouted, "Advance!" Cyber Leader said, "This world will be upgraded." Armstrong Industries troopers reloaded their blasters. Ghostface space carrier, Dalek saucers, cyber warships, TIE fighters, sentry turrets and alien grey UFOs are flying down to Earth, while flying monkeys, nindroids, gremlins, demodogs, demogorgons from Stranger Things and Mordor orcs came through the portal to Newcastle. Armstrong Industries are firing their blasters. 3 Daleks exterminated some of them, while orcs attacked a couple of them with an axe. Dan joins the army to fire his blaster at the enemies. There's few explosions at the buildings. Everyone in Newcastle are fighting back, while Styles shouted, "Take cover!" Cybermen broke into Greg's, so Becky, Rowan, Dise, Aidan and Harry are firing their blasters at them. Inside Central train station, there's people running. Sam shot his anti-time device at one of the flying monkeys. Then Oscar, Callie and Dan ran in. Sam asks, "Oscar, Dan, Callie, are yous alright?" They said they are. Callie mentioned that she needs to find Ricky, as she believes she'll be dead by dawn. At Life Centre, Gandalf, Dagger, Brandon, Wildstyle, Frizz, Crispin, Blop, Zarbus, Neil, Cypher, Holly and Shawson are battling with lots of monsters. The area is full of lasers flying over. Zarbus said, "I hope Dise is okay. I saw his parents fighting with demogorgons." Sam burst into Centurion Bar. Lee, Froid, Repti and Commander Mundi are inside, so Sam asked, "Have you destroyed that soul?" Lee replied, "Aye." Sam commented, "It's just Grandpent, the last soul of Gateway." Commander Mundi said to Lee, "You weren't joking when you said Sam's cool, Lee, for what he did with the stormtroopers." Suddenly, there was a sound of glass smash. Everyone looked. They know someone is there. Sam slowly walked around the corner, and he sees Jim from 28 Days Later hiding behind the bar. Sam said, "Hey, I know you." Sam remembered seeing Jim walked past while zombies were attacking London back in November 2014. Sam asked, "What happened?" Jim explained, "1 minute, I saw a portal. I walked through. Suddenly, I was in London, full of zombies. I remembered briefly seeing that blue shed thing in the middle of the road, but then I ran down under the bridge. 28 minutes later, I got through another portal that looks sort of different, and here I am, right now. There's some crazy battle outside." Sam figured out that Jim walked through the gateway from 28 Days Later to Sam's universe. Then Jim found the time portal and went from London 2014 to Newcastle 2025, right here, right now. Sam checked his pockets, but he hasn't got Gateway Opener remote. He believed he must have dropped it. But Commander Mundi said, "Luckily, I picked this up." He's got the remote, so he set the control to 28 Days Later world. The portal opened, and Sam said, "There you go, Jim. There's your home. Good luck." Jim thanked Sam and Monday. He walks through, and Monday closed the portal. Repty asks, "If you know Jim about 11 years ago, why didn't you take him home then?" Sam explained, "Zombies attack for starters. I was busy trying to save the bus driver as well as myself, and also I didn't know he was a movie character at the time." Froid mentioned, "The same as you did with John Carter and his dog Woola." Lee commented, "You're only human, Sam. You might have Trenzalord's DNA, but you can still make mistakes, like we all do." Monday said, "Exactly." Suddenly, Monday was electrocuted as a silver hand has touched his shoulder. Sam, Lee, Freud and Repty looked, horrified, seeing Monday screamed as he fell, dead to the ground, and the Cyberman came out from the corner. Lee picked up his blaster and shot Cyberman, and the head exploded. The silver armored body fell. Lee said, "Monday was canny. I'll make those foes pay." Sam said, "I'm so sorry." Lee replied, "It's not your fault, Sam. We choose to help. We'll get everyone back in their worlds as best as we can. We'll find Grandpent and Ghostface. We will end this." Meanwhile, inside a hideout, Dr. Centrix ordered Dise, Neil and Professor Shawson to take some technology to other hideout, so they did. Centrix carried on packing, but suddenly Ghostface walked in with Grandpent, Davros, Cyber Leader and Supreme Dalek. Centrix turned around and said, "This will be your downfall." Davros said, "The woman I know who uses subwave network said that to my Daleks." Ghostface asks, "Do you know what happens to her? Same thing that's gonna happen to you. Die!" Ghostface shot Centrix in the chest with his powers. Centrix died. Newcastle town became a night war zone. Sam, Lee, Freud and Repty dodged an axe carried by a Mordor orc. Sam shot the orc with his anti-time device, so they ran through the battle area, only to find themselves being chased by demodogs. Sam, Lee and Freud fired their blasters, while Repty shoots with his laser eyes. Meanwhile, Rowan and Blop are shooting at the Daleks and stormtroopers. Rowan said, "This is bigger than Vortek." Blop replied, "It's not like us to give up, Rowan." Suddenly, Nindroid impaled Blop's chest with a sword, and Rowan was horrified and shouted, "No!" So he fired his blaster at the Nindroid and grieved over Blop's corpse. After Shawson tells Sam about the second hideout, he, Lee and Freud ran to the roundabout, only to find a lot of alien greys running towards them. So then Anthony, Tower of London guard, throws down a metal pole and uses the taser gun. Sam, Freud, Lee, Repty, Shawson, Callie, Oscar and Ricky watch the electrocuted dying alien greys. Sam, Lee, Freud and Repty burst into another hideout. Lee was happy that there was another door in case of emergency, and he was hoping there was a toilet here. Sam looked at the Centrix's machine and gateway opening remote device. He has an idea. Suddenly, Rowan came in with his tears rolling down from his eyes. Freud asks, "What's wrong?" Rowan replied, "It's Blop. He's been killed." Lee said, "Mate, I'm so sorry to hear it." Sam said, "Me too. He was a good friend to you." Rowan cried, "We grew up together, in school, on Sandalorus. Saving the universe was always our passion." And Sam felt sad for Rowan. Then he dwelled, "I've got an idea, so it won't happen to anyone else. We'll mourn Blop. I figured our universe is no longer safe. The machines have tow ropes, meaning I can move the planets to another universe. But the question is, which one?" Rowan replied, "The new universe. That's where my old planet was. It was where my parents are from." Sam thought, "Fair enough. New universe it is then." Sam puts few plugs on. He pressed few buttons and inserts the remote into the machine and said, "So none of the planets will feel it. They only notice the look of the sky, and that'll be it. Ready?" Everyone is. Sam pressed the button. On Sandaloris, Rixton, Abel, Merkin, and Anglin looked up in the sky, knowing that their planet is moving. So does the whole population in Holterry. Sea Monster on planet Rockworld roared to the sky. Robot snakes on Snaketile identified the universe they're moving to. Sam said, "It's a shame that planet Trenzilor isn't there anymore. Same with Aquarius, Phaetus, Frankenworld, Seville, and not to mention Zorenda. It's a peaceful forest planet that Ghostface destroyed back on Christmas 2016. Suddenly, the machine exploded, and Sam said, "Oh no, I've not finished." "Great, the remote is broken." Lee asks, "How many planets are still here like?" Sam answered, 9 left, and they are well known to planet Earth. Froid asks, "Which planets are still here?" Sam answered, "Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Plus, we still got the Sun and the Moon." Repti saw a lot of Daleks outside and said, "Sam, the Daleks have found us." Sam said, "Let's finish them off." Repti said, "No, you go. Destroy the last soul. End the war. I'll hold them off. Quickly, run!" Lee, Freud, and Rowan ran out the door. Sam hid behind the doorway. He watches. Daleks breaking in. Repti fired his lasers, and all the army of Daleks had blown up. Repti said, "I am Repti, the super robot snake." Then Ghostface and Grandpent came in. Sam thought, uh-oh. Ghostface said, "Oh, if it isn't Repti, the Sam's robot snake. Grandpent, kill." So then Grandpent bit Repti's head off. Sam watched with his mouth open. The battery acid inside Repti leaked. Lee pulled Sam away, while Ghostface laughed. Harry Jones is inside the central station. He shot 3 Cybermen, but then Dalek exterminated him. Aiden shouted, "Harry!" So he fired his blaster at the Dalek, and the dome blows up. Lee asked Sam, "Couldn't you fix Repti? He's a robot snake." And Sam cried, "It's not that simple. He's from Snaketile. They're like Johnny Five. If the battery acid leaks, they're bled to death, and they die. It's part of their memories. Repti can't be fixed. He's gone." Later on, as the battle stopped, Sam, Lee, Freud, and Rowan walked inside the Eldon Square, a shopping centre in Newcastle. The surviving Sam's team are there, mourning. Sam is relieved to see his family still alive. Rowan ran up to Anguirus, Darlis, Frizz, and Crispin, telling them what happened to Blop. Freud noticed Zarbus is hugging Dise, devastated over Parsay and Lorva's dead bodies. Lee reunited with Callie, Oscar, and Ricky. Sam walked to Professor Shawson and her team. Neil asks, "Where's Repti?" Sam teared rolled down and said, "I'm so sorry. Repti didn't make it. The battery acid leaked. There's nothing I can do. Grandpent killed him. Shawson, Neil, Holly, and Cypher are grieving." Sam felt he can't stay any longer, knowing that some people have died because of him, especially after Aiden had to tell Sam that Harry was killed. Then Dan gave Sam the gateway opening remote. So then the Doctor, Batman, Wildstyle, Gandalf, Rowan, and his team gathered around. Sam said to Rowan, "I can't thank you enough for all the help you've done, Rowan. It's a shame that we'll never see each other again. I'm really sorry about Blop, but I will make sure it's not going to happen to anyone else." Rowan said, "Thank you, Sam." So he hugged Sam. Then Becky came and said, "He's right, Rowan. Abel needs you. I think you'll be amazing dad." Rowan replied, "That means a lot, Becky. Thank you." So Anguirus, Darlis, Frizz, and Crispin said their goodbyes. So then Rowan and his team walked out of Eldon Square. Sam said to Batman, Wildstyle, and Gandalf, "It's been fun 9 years meeting you and fighting together." Wildstyle said, "It sure has." Gandalf said, "Many thanks to you." Batman said, "I know I said I don't trust you earlier, but I was wrong. I trust you." Sam smiled, so he uses the remote, and After that, Batman is in Gotham City in his universe. Wildstyle is in the Bricksburg at the Lego Movie World. She reunites with Emmett Brickowski. Gandalf has returned to Middle-earth. The Doctor hugged Sam, saying, "It's okay. I'm always there for you, Sam." Sam replied, "Thanks. The way I saved the world, I got all that from you. I don't know what would happen to us right now if your show didn't exist." Sam rubbed his tears from his eyes. Alex was stunned that he's seeing the Doctor. After a farewell, the Doctor walked back inside his TARDIS. The Doctor was in tears, so then he pulled the lever, and the TARDIS dematerialized. On Sandalorus, Rowan's ship landed inside a garage. At the hub, the glass door opened. Rowan climbed out, carrying Blob's body, covered in blanket, followed by Dolus, Anguirus, Crispin, and Frizz, telling Rixton, Abel, Merkin, and Anglin what happened. At Newcastle in the morning, Sam walked inside the central station. He looked at his anti-time device, he sonicked the battery, and he realised there's a Time Lord's regeneration energy inside. Sam looked, and there's ghosts of Blackvic, Lugown, Darkcloak, Captain Son, Ivyson, Skellingman, Peter the Hutt, Banger, Blop, Harry, Lindell, Ara, and Commander Mundy. Sam asks, "Why are you all here?" Lugown said, "We've always been here." Blackvic said, "We never left." Versa commented, "A lot of us have died in battle, but it's not your fault." Darkcloak said, "You need to stop blaming yourself." Captain Son said, "Finish what you started." Ivyson said, "Save the world." Skellingman said, "You've grown up, Sam." Sam said, "I know about the timeline. That's why I stayed away from Holy Island. But all the friends I've lost, you lot, Repti, Ruby, the one who helped me defeated that giant squid 4 years ago, Hurick, Captain Logan Harper, all of them," Ara said. "You didn't choose us to die. We chose to sacrifice to save the world." Banger said, "Don't make this Earth the same fate as Trenzilor. You have to save Earth." Commander Mundy said, "He's right. Lee tells me you never give up, so prove him right." Sam commented, "You people are right. I can't give up. This Earth have been saved so many times because of me." Sam looked back on his past adventures, monsters he's battled, all of his 10 lives, and his friends. So the ghosts faded away. Lee and Froid ran in. Sam asks, "What are you doing here?" Lee said, "To help." Froid said, "Let's finish this, once and for all." Sam, Lee and Froid walked out the station and sees Ghostface and Grandpent in the street. Ghostface commented, "You can't live with your own failures, can you?" Sam said, "People didn't die in vain, but you will." So Sam looked at Lee and Froid and said, "You destroy Grandpent, I'll deal with Ghostface." Meanwhile, in Eldon Square, Davros, Supreme Dalek, and Cyber Leader are about to attack everyone inside. Sedan uses the remote. The portal pulled them back inside the Hooniverse. Davros shouted, "I will name Sam forever the Interferer of Worlds." Inside the Life Center area, Sam ran, pointing his anti-time device. Ghostface follows. He tries to shoot Sam with his powers, while Sam is using his anti-time device. Sam shouted, "Come on, Billy Loomis. Let's finish the way we started it. Together." Cybermen, Daleks, Stormtroopers, Flying Monkeys, Sentry Turret, Demodogs, Demogorgons, Gremlins, Nindroids, and Orcs attack in the Eldon Square. Sedan, Neil, Holly, Cypher, Callie, Oscar, Ricky, Anthony, Dise, Zarbus, Becky, Stewie, Alex, Aiden, Dagger, Brandon, Stu, and the surviving Armstrong Industries soldiers are fighting back with their blasters, while Professor Shawson uses the remote device. She opens and closes the portal lots of times, as most of the enemies are sent back. into their correct worlds, while the rest dies in Eldon Square. Dan Allen picked up the sword and walked to the exit. Inside the central station, Froid is cornered by Grandpent. He's firing his blaster at the snake, but it had no effect. So he tried to reach for the key, but Grandpent almost bit his hand off. Froid and Lee quickly ran to where the tracks are. Lee tried to shoot at the Grandpent with a blaster, but there was no man stepped in and slashed the snake with a sword, so the Grandpent has turned into a big dark grey smoke. All open portals have closed. Every multiverse is back to normal, including Marvel and DC, where every universe have separated and everyone is back where they're from, and the story has reversed to what originally has been. The flux above the earth have disappeared and the universe is saved. Ghostface realised what's going on and said, "No, this can't be." Sam replied, "It's over." Ghostface shouted, "Die! Die! Die!" Ghostface fires black jet out of his right hand, while Sam fires red laser from his anti-time device. Both collided with a bang like a cannon blast, and the powers rebounded, fatally striking Ghostface. So Sam looked at Ghostface, falling backwards, arms splayed, and lay very still on the ground. Sam realised Ghostface is dead. His powers rebounded. All of his lives are gone. Later on, Sam, Lee, Dan, and Froid joined Shawson, Neil, Holly, Cypher, Callie, Oscar, Ricky, Anthony, Dise, Zarbus, Becky, Stewie, Alex, Eden, Dagger, Brandon, Stu, and survived Armstrong Industries soldiers inside Eldon Square at the Costa, all clapping, cheering, and recovering from the battle and celebrating the victory. Everyone hugged each other, grabbing their drinks, while the Prime Minister announced that Newcastle is safe again. Professor Shawson said, "This gateway opening device remote has stopped working. We did it." Sam smiled that the trouble was finally over. 1 week later, Sam drove the van into Sandy Bay Caravan Park, and Armstrong Industries soldiers lifted Sam's ship from the fields that crash landed into. Altogether, it was very heavy. They carried the ship into the van. It is said that everyone is doing great. Since the victory, Dan has gone back to his everyday job. Armstrong Industries base in Blythe have rebuilt it into a toy factory, with Lee as the CEO. Froid, Skellingman, Dise, and Zarbus took the oath of allegiance to become an Earth citizen as a gratitude, and they're granted to live peacefully in Holy Island. Sam's family are back to their normal lives. Aidan goes back to working as a carer. Brandon is working as an archaeologist. Dagger joined Professor Shawson, Neil, Holly, and Cypher in the lab at London, working as science teachers. The lab has become a science class, with Repti's memorial on the wall. Anthony is back on duty in Tower of London. Sam's ship has been dropped in Lotmont, surrounded by a fence. Sam has got his own garden there. Armstrong Industries soldiers left. Sam said, "My ship will just be a shed or a playhouse now. Sooner or later, I'll be a married man and a father. Now, I've got a job as an actor and a filmmaker." So then he picked up a spade. He dug a big hole. Sam placed his anti-time device, sonic screwdriver, keys to his ship in the hole, except one. Sam buried the gadgets with the soil. He took one look at his ship and said, "Safe to say, my nightmare is finally over, and life goes on."